We're growing, we're scaling, we're ready to go. We're really excited what we're working on, really excited what we're seeing from a market response, both on the consumer side and on the enterprise and defense side, the traction we're seeing. We have our consumer business where we reported, again, 138% year-over-year growth. There's nothing like our product. It's a revolutionary piece of technology that has a lot of great applications that we believe has a fantastic potential.
Welcome to The Upside with Lou Bassanese, where it's our mission to bring you the companies, technologies, and people behind some of the most compelling investments in the public markets today. And I got to admit, today I'm super excited because it's one of those technologies that you can absolutely understand once you see it.
Swagger that get us, but I'm low key, I'll make it look easy. No hesitation, I'm in the mood. My motivation, I got nothing to prove.
Let me introduce to you the CEO of Virtuix, Jan Goetgeluk. The hardest name I've ever had to pronounce on live TV. So
you did well.
Welcome,
thanks, Lou.
man.
Thanks for having me.
What's your nationality, out of curiosity?
I'm from Belgium originally.
Okay.
But I'm a U.S. citizen. I came to the country. I loved it here and decided to stay. And
you're here in New York, freezing these temperatures when you're from home. Home from is Austin, right?
Austin is a bit warmer than New York right now.
Well, let's jump right into it. For people that don't know who Virtuix is, what do you guys do? I get so excited about talking about this.
We pioneer movement in AI-generated worlds, whether those are fictional game worlds or photorealistic replicas of the real world. And we do that with our Omni technology. And the Omni is an omnidirectional treadmill that lets you walk and run around in 360 degrees inside virtual environments.
This is in a whole world of its own.
A must-buy for those wanting true VR gaming immersion.
Here's how a nerd in his 30s gets some cardio.
It was definitely one of the most fun workouts I have ever had.
Wherever you look, whatever you touch, you will immediately be impressed by the quality.
So you're not just sitting down or pushing buttons on a controller, you're physically moving inside a virtual world.
So this is not just the latest VR gadget. This is a full stack immersive experience that's letting you physically move in all directions.
It's a very immersive experience. On the entertainment side, it's also a way to get your steps in, even though it's gaming, it's entertainment, but also there's
that how you get guys to pitch it to their wives, how they can justify a purchase?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because, we had one guy lost 40 pounds in 4 months.
Really?
So, if it's exercise, but it's gaming. But if you don't like to exercise, but you'd like to be more fit and you like gaming, well, this is the product for you.
Wow. All right. So let's get to the genesis story. How did this all start? Because you just recently IPO'd this week. But this technology, correct me if I'm wrong, has been in development for over 10 years, right?
Yeah. We started 10 years ago. Me personally, I was actually an investment banker at JP Morgan in a previous life, but I thought virtual reality was going to be the next big thing.
You found religion then.
And I thought, in that virtual space, you need something to walk around instead of just pushing a button. So you need something like a treadmill, but in 360 degrees. So I started working on that way back when, and then started with a Kickstarter campaign. Went well, quit my job, and then brought the product to market.
Did you have any engineering background to how to conceive and put this together?
Yeah, I actually have my background is a mechanical engineer. I have a master's in mechanical engineering, but I worked mostly in finance, but I have an engineering degree, if you will.
So how the evolution of the product over time. I'm just curious, is it patent protected? I mean, I feel like there's got to be a lot of technology that goes into this platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's nothing like it. There's no other concept that exists other than ours that really works well. And we have 25 patents around our technology, 5 more pending. We've brought out 3 products to market to date, over $20 million in sales. And the latest one, Omni One, is our most advanced treadmill yet.
Okay, so what generation is the Omni One? How far
it's
along?
Our 3rd product that we brought to market. It's really the first system designed for the home, for consumers. And we launched that last year. And and it's been growing. We reported 138% year-over-year growth.
Wow. For the Omni One or in total sales?
Total sales, but mostly driven by the launch of Omni One.
Okay.
So in the consumer side, that's really where we're growing the most right now. And then also applying our technology to other markets as well.
Okay. So recent IPO, ramping revenues, 20 million in legacy sales. This is not a new startup. You've got a ton of traction, no pun intended. How do you look at what are the next milestones ahead for you? What are the catalysts that investors can think about?
Yeah. One is, scaling our Omni One consumer business. We're ready to scale with the proceeds from this listing. We can fund our growth. We have production capacity in place to produce up to 3,000 units a month. That would be about $100 million in annual revenues.
So 3,000 units a month, and they average the MSRP on these is like $3,500
for the complete system. We also have lower cost versions as well for $2,500, but in that range, correct?
Okay, and this can get you to $100 million a year in revenues.
Correct. With our current capacity that we have. That's on the consumer side, mostly to drive our growth there.
Yeah.
And then we pair that with other markets, most notably the defense market, where our technology has a great application for training and simulation. So talk to me about that.
How do you use this in a defense application?
Yeah, it's very exciting development in the world of AI and AI-driven 3D reconstruction, where we can now, with a technique called Gaussian splatting, very quickly, in just a few hours, we can convert 360-degree camera footage into a photorealistic virtual environment. Thanks to new AI-powered techniques like Gaussian splatting, we can now quickly make high-fidelity digital twins of the real world using, for example, drone footage.
It's 1 p.m. We're here at a training center in Austin, Texas. We're going to be capturing a scan with our 360-degree LiDAR scanner attached to this drone. All right, it's 1:30 now. We got the data that we need. It took about 20 minutes to capture. Now let's load it onto the computer. It's 3 p.m. We're back at the office. The environment is ready. From start to finish, this whole process took about 2 hours.
Think about applications like virtual tourism, industrial training, or mission planning and rehearsal for defense and law enforcement. That process used to take months. Now, within hours from camera footage, we can create a beautiful virtual world.
So this is an indication or just an example of how AI is revolutionizing 3D rendering.
3D rendering,
spaces,
correct.
Right?
And then in that scenario, we can make these virtual worlds with our technology. Then you can walk around inside that virtual environment, and you can think of industrial training, safety training, virtual tourism on the entertainment side, but also defense. We have a system in the defense market called the virtual terrain walk, and the slogan is "Walk the terrain before you fight on it." So we turn a mission area very quickly into a photorealistic virtual environment. And then with our device, the Omni, soldiers can walk that area, get a sense of space, of distance, familiarize themselves with the area, with the mission before they have boots on the ground.
That's amazing. So for instance, we heard the latest invasion of Venezuela to get Maduro, that they had a mock-up of his house, right?
Yep.
Now you're saying you don't even have to build the physical structure. You could do this in a virtual world and have the same type of training and simulation.
Exactly. And it's revolutionary because the missing piece has always been the movement piece.
Yeah,
you can make a virtual world. Now we can do that very quickly. But how are you going to walk around or move around in that space? To physically do that, you need the Omni. You need our technology.
Now, is that platform that has defense applications, how does that sell? Like, what's the revenue model for that versus the consumer-facing one? Yeah,
the consumer-facing is a direct-to-consumer model. On the military side, we are pursuing defense contracts. And we already have some initial test units at, for example, Yokota Air Force Base, at U.S. Air Force Academy. But it's a longer sales cycle. So we're giving demos, meeting with all the right people. Yeah. And the first big milestone would be there to get a meaningful contract for systems.
Yeah, what would that, a meaningful contract, obviously you think about military, they don't order in ones and twos if you get past that, right? Yeah. Are we talking hundreds of units, thousands of units, tens of thousands of units? What do you think that potential could be?
Yeah, it's probably based on installations. For example, it's about 100 U.S. military bases or battalions that could use a system like this. So it's in that range initially for example, the U.S. Army. Then you have U.S. Marine Corps, Special Forces, and Allied Forces as well. So we can expand way beyond that.
The first one's always the hardest, and you get in, and then you can start moving.
Exactly.
And expanding from there. So talk to me, let's flip back to the consumer side, because obviously huge market. How big is that market based upon your estimates? And then how do you scale into that? Does it require you ramping up a sales force? Are you working with partners to get distribution? How do you think about accelerating to 3,000 units a month?
Yeah. Right now we're focused just on the US, but we're going to expand internationally as well. But just in the US, look, it's a price point in the range of a high-end high-end gaming PC, of high-end connected fitness. Sometimes our product is called the Peloton for gamers. So it's in that range. So it's for those who like gaming, who have discretionary income to buy a system like this. It's a big market. In our estimate, over 10 million households in the US alone that could purchase a system like ours, which is just revolutionary. There's nothing like it. So it's all about scaling in that market, scaling our sales and marketing to reach as many potential customers as we can. And that's where the funds we raised in the listing this week will come in very handy.
So you bring up the Peloton of gaming, right? And I look at Peloton, not super successful. I didn't think they had really anything unique. They had a stationary bike with a TV and a Wi-Fi connected TV, right? Not that great. But they did open brick and mortar stores, which I thought was the end of them, because then you're expanding too far, too many costs. Do you anticipate you'd have brick and mortar stores for demonstrations, work with other people that, partners that have those localities so you can avoid that cost? How do you think about that retail type of advertising?
That's a good question. We actually don't need it, because we also sell an Omni Arena attraction, another product that we have that we sell to entertainment venues. And we've installed it in 80 entertainment venues in the US, places like Dave & Buster's, for example. And we have over 500,000 registered players, Omni Arena players. So that gives us already a physical footprint where people can experience our technology for entertainment.
Super smart. So this is like another analogy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the TrackMan golf simulators, right? They're in these entertainment venues, but now it's led to an explosion of them in home purchases, right? So people are building simulators in their house. So you anticipate the same type of inflection point as you get people more out in the market and experiencing it. Yeah,
I think it's a good analogy. And in our business model, you have the upfront hardware purchase that we make the sale at a good margin, but then we make recurring revenues from selling games, from subscriptions as well for online gameplay. So as our user base grows, those recurring revenues start to increase as well.
Right. So you have a big upfront ticket item that generates immediate revenue, ongoing recurring revenue. Now I immediately go to content. How do you get content? How do you build that out and incentivize people to help build this ecosystem? We work with all the big third-party VR game studios.
Our complete system has over 60 games signed. Some of the biggest VR games out there, they work with our system. We also are compatible with PC gaming, mostly plug and play. So over 100 PC titles that just work with the Omni. Hundreds really, if you take into account all the Steam VR games. The key there is it's not too difficult to make our system work with existing games. So we don't need anybody to make games just for us. We can plug into existing games.
So talking about is this different than, say, Meta's headsets that, like, because I had one of the earlier generations where you had unique content that had to be just for that device, or the Apple's, virtual reality, mixed reality, like, are those, you're not having to deal with that. That's not plug and play for them. You have stuff where it's completely plug and play.
Well, Meta now has probably more than 1,000 VR games that exist that are, some of them are high quality games. We work with those games. Those are not games that are just for Meta. Those games are also on PC. They also work for other headsets. Meta has a few exclusives, not that many. Most games are open to different platforms. And those are the same studios that we are compatible with.
Okay. So then let's talk about competition a little bit. You said earlier that there's no one else that has a platform like this. Is there any hint of competitors emerging? Who do you view your competition as you're trying to get consumers to purchase this versus something else?
Yeah, we have one direct competitor. It's a Chinese company that came after us. One could say that they copied our design. They're still small. We know them well. I'd say that our product, from a quality perspective, from a game integration perspective, is ahead, is far ahead. And of course, we have our patent portfolio as well. But that's our main competitor.
Are they in the U.S. market at all, or where you sit?
They try to be, but as a Chinese company, it's not always that easy to break into this market. And of course, for the defense sector, that's not possible at all. It's a non-starter. So
I got to ask, how many people work for the company? Because I'm sitting here thinking about all the development that you've pulled together, multiple generations, patents, impressive sales footprint. I mean, how big is the organization now, and how big do you see that growing?
Yeah, well, we're a hardware company, now more and more software to it. But as a hardware company, the key is to stay lean, keep the costs down. So we've stayed as lean as we can. We're about 45 people in the company today, which probably may surprise you.
Yeah, very surprising.
We do a lot.
Spread out throughout the United States in different areas in terms of manufacturing, sales, and marketing development, or all centrally located?
Mostly in Austin. Mostly in Austin. We work on hardware, so it's hard to do that remotely. We have some remote employees, but our headquarters is in Austin, Texas.
So what do you see as the CEO, the risks, right? What keeps you up at night that could really impede your attainment of the goals that you see ahead of you?
Yeah, well, one is scaling the consumer business. It's looking very promising with the growth we have. To keep that going is our key objective. And then pairing with the military side, the defense sector, which has long sales cycles.
Yeah.
And then the risks there is, budgets, delays. We're working diligently to move that forward. We have a lot of traction and excitement in that market, but it's a bit of a longer sales cycle, and so we'll see when that pays off.
So it's really just time, and then just whether consumer spending keeps up and your marketing is effective and you can convert on that. Do you have any supply chain issues where you're worried about trade wars and tariffs in terms of the components that go into one of your systems?
I think we're well set there. We have a supply chain set up. We have some flexibility there. From the beginning, we took into account flexibility. Can we move our supply chain elsewhere? How can we make sure that we're not entirely exposed to potential trade war between U.S. and China? So right now, I think it's managed well and under control, and we have options in the future if that changes.
What about partnerships? Like I think about the whole explosion in what was called esports, right? And now I think this truly could make it a sport. I would argue that sitting there and moving your joystick is not really athletic, but now you're making this into motion. Is that a potential area of expansion for you?
It could be. We've always had a lot of interest from the esports industry because it's so visual. I mean, what we do for the audience, it's a real spectacle. It's people physically running on our devices while they're in a video game. I mean, it's spectacular. So it's certainly an option.
Jump and I've seen some of the videos, but explain for people that haven't seen it yet. We're going to share some throughout the course of this, but really, how did you conceive this ultimate setup, and how big's the footprint? I mean, for people that are sitting here watching this, can it fit in their garage, the corner of their living room? Where would it go mostly? Yeah,
absolutely. It has about a 4-foot diameter.
Okay.
And it's like a treadmill, but then circular. But the Omni One is designed for consumers, so it's very easy to set up. You can also store it away. No tools needed. You just put it together in 5 to 10 minutes. So it's user friendly. It has wheels, so you can wheel it around.
Yeah.
So it's
so it can be shared among teenage boys. They can take it from one room to the next if necessary.
If necessary. So we kept that in mind when we designed the product for the home. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, what do you see as, newly public company, the biggest challenges and biggest opportunities as you look out at 2026 and beyond?
Yeah. Well, for us, we're ready to scale. It's been an exciting week. For us, it's just a starting point. We're still only getting started. We're working on such fantastic new developments. We have our consumer business where we reported, again, 138% year-over-year growth. We're going to keep going on the consumer side, push that growth.
How many units was that? Did that equate to in the most recent period?
Yeah, well, we just started really shipping, so we're still scaling that. But we delivered the first 2,000 units to customers in the US only. We'll expand internationally in the near future.
Okay. Is that on the calendar for 2026? So international expansion could be a catalyst and a milestone?
That's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal. And then on the defense side, with our gauge and splitting developments, defense and enterprise, where we can now use that AI-driven 3D reconstruction methodology to really create quickly these virtual worlds. I mean, it's a groundbreaking technology, groundbreaking innovation that we believe will truly deliver the full potential of VR, the full promise of VR. You have these beautiful virtual worlds, replicas of the real world.
Yeah.
And how are you going to walk around in those with the Omni?
That's amazing. So do you think about what's the exit? Build a very big company, 100 million plus in revenue, or you get acquired? Because I'm just thinking, news today that Apple acquired QAI to help them in their AI initiatives. I think, Mark Zuckerberg has incinerated about $38 billion worth of capital on the metaverse. Not much consumer traction. This could be a great way for him to get traction. I mean, is that something that you think about as a founder?
As a team, we say, let's just focus on building great products and keep building a great company and keep building value for our customers. And then whatever follows from that, we'll see.
So what do you think? What I always end every interview with is, if everything goes right? We talked about the risks, the challenges, kind of what you anticipate. But if everything goes right, what's the upside here in terms of potential revenue, maybe the market valuation? How do you look at that, and how do you give the bull case very succinctly?
Yeah, well, look, we're growing, we're scaling, we're ready to go. It's hard for me to make predictions, as you know, but we're really excited what we're working on, really excited what we're seeing from a market response, both on the consumer side and on the enterprise and defense side. The traction we're seeing, there's nothing like our product. It's a revolutionary piece of technology that has a lot of great applications that we believe has a fantastic potential.
Yeah, and we're talking multi-billion-dollar potential market cap. I mean, we had some early in the first hours of trading, but something that you believe you can grow into over time?
I would certainly, I'm biased, but certainly
it's okay. That's why we're here.
But it's certainly what I'd personally be going for.
Well, listen, I'd love to follow you and do some updates along the way as you hit some key milestones, and maybe next time we bring a crew with us and actually demo it, which might be more embarrassing for me than anything. But
you look great. You'll have a great time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, and best of luck.
Thanks, Lou.